A couple minutes ago, I was going to say this is a pointless conversation.
No, but now it's funny.
Now it's got some worth.
We do a podcast where we review movies. Everything we say is pointless.
Hey, media analysis is important. Everything else, though, I don't know.
Saying this is a pointless conversation on a podcast is so redundant. It's
a movie podcast. Hey, I'm here to do important shit, guys.
Guys, I can't talk right now. I'm doing important shit.
I'm basically like the Captain America of podcasting, for real.
I paused my podcast for this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pacific Standard, guys. My name is Carter Briggs, and with me, as always, are my two beautiful, lovely, and sometimes cantankerous co-hosts, Abel Stoika.
Don't know what that means. I'm gonna be completely honest.
And Mason Winter.
No need for big words.
Cantankerous. It's not a big word. It's fine.
It's by definition a big word.
Define cantankerous right now.
But it means
define cantankerous. It's like it's like mostly grumpy, like a grumpy in like an old man kind of way, where it's like stubborn and grumpy.
What has been my most cantankerous take so far?
Oh, what
Christmas
movie was
Vacation?
It? Yeah, Christmas. Either Christmas Vacation.
That was pretty cantankerous of me.
Christmas Vacation and or Rise of the Guardians were very cantankerous takes of yours. And Mason off pod has some cantankerous takes.
Dude, that was in confidence. Off pod.
I didn't say what it was.
Yeah, but you're trying to get me riled up.
Anyway, this week, because the Thunderbolts is coming out, we are talking about Captain America, the First Avenger.
Of course.
Cue Marvel theme song.
Now let us sit in silence as it plays in its entirety.
Let's start. Who wants to break it down?
I don't want to break it down.
Mason, I was so excited for you to volunteer. Mason, please break it down.
Well, I don't think I'm the resident Marvel correspondent, am I?
I don't think you've seen a Marvel movie in theaters way more recently than me.
That doesn't mean I'm talking about like all encompassing. Like you have way more comic book knowledge than I do.
That's true. Abel, do you want to do it or should I do
Spider-Man?
it?
Yeah, I have a pretty extensive knowledge of the Marvel movies. I don't know a whole lot about. I know a little bit about comics. Yeah, I'll explain the plot of Captain America 1. This is like one of the most straightforward Marvel movies. Captain America starts out as this guy, Steve Rogers. He's tiny, he's weak, he can't really do anything, but he always stays true to himself. He's got a really great moral core to himself, and he always sticks up for people and does the right thing no matter what.
Who does he hate?
He's gonna lose. He hates bullies.
He hates bullies.
Yeah, and he can do this all day. Which at the start of the movie was just blind confidence in himself that wasn't backed up by anything, but by the end it's backed up by, steroids and shit. Blind
confidence. You disrespect Steve Rogers like that again, Abel. We're going to have words.
Well, it never really turned out in his favor, He was always getting beat up.
Right, but that wasn't the point. The point was that he didn't back down.
Yeah, same thing.
He didn't say, I'm going to kick your ass. He said, you could beat the shit out of me all day, and I'll still be here.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So he keeps getting denied from signing up for the army, but then this guy's working on the super soldier serum that turns you into a super soldier. Surprise, surprise. He sees his, his conduct in action. He finds his file and he's like, you're the perfect candidate for this because you're at your core, you're the best of us. So they give him the super soldier serum and then he becomes Captain America. Has to learn kind of his place in America during the time, because this is during World War II. He starts out, they're gonna hide him, and then he comes through as a marketing figure and propaganda machine, and he goes, you know what, I really think that my great powers need to be used in a better way than just selling war bonds. So I'm going to go fight and save my friend Bucky from Nazi prison. And
I think Bucky was the bigger motivator.
Yeah, Bucky was
that was the
motivator.
initial motivator, but I think that the whole time that he's doing it, he's like not really. He's kind of realizing that he has a lot more potential,
Not concerned for the welfare of his friend.
Well,
no,
that's why
that was the thing that made him make the jump to.
That's why he goes. That's why he goes AWOL. But the whole time he knows that he's a monkey. He's a fucking prop.
Yeah.
But he never is like considering going AWOL until they put him in Europe, and then he realizes that Bucky has been captured, and then he's like, "Well, fuck this, I'm gonna go anyway."
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's the Red Skull, who's like Hitler but worse, and he's part of Hydra, which are the Nazis but worse.
Mm.
Which
is not really backed up by anything.
Yeah, they're not worse. There's no.
That's the point that they're trying to make in the movie. It feels like.
No, the point they're making. They're not the Nazis, but worse. They're just the Nazis. They just believe in the same things as the Nazis, but they have super soldier serum and like space guns.
Yeah.
Like if Hitler could blow up. Like, it's not like the regular Nazis, if they were given the technology to, wouldn't have blown up the rest of the world.
No, yeah, they would have.
They would have. It's just like, what if the Nazis, but with sci-fi shit?
Yeah.
It's Wolfenstein. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same kind of. They're not worse. I would argue morally they might be a little better. I would.
Yeah, but I feel like the movie is trying to make you think, especially when like other like Nazi party members are like showing up and talking to the Red Skull, and he kind of kills them all. The point that they're trying to make is, they're scared of this guy because he's not just a regular Nazi.
Well, the reason
the Nazis are drastically up on Hydra.
I just think, yeah, no, definitely. I think I see what you're saying, Abel, but I think that. It's not that, like, they're morally worse. It's that they believe in the Ubermensch, and the Red Skull literally is the Ubermensch. And so he's like, why would I bow down to these skinny little politicians? I'm literally the Ubermensch. He's not morally worse. He's morally the same. He's just better at it. That's what they're saying. Like, we should be more scared of him because he's not a narcissist moron. He's a narcissist genius who can bench press a truck. That's why. Yeah. That's why he's more scary. He's not.
He's very competent at being evil.
Yeah, he's a competent fascist is so much more scary than an incompetent fascist. That's just. Truth. That's what it is. I don't think he's. I only pull up on worse because you literally, in my opinion, cannot be worse than the Nazis. You can be equal to. You can be the same level of bad, but I don't think there's a group that you could point to and be like worse, morally worse. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, right? It just felt like the movie was trying to make a statement like that, but I think just like being more better at being evil is more what they were going for.
I think that's what they were going for. I think also that's what the comics were going for.
To finish the recap really quick, Captain America beats the Red Skull and then gets frozen and then unthawed, and everyone thinks he's dead until he's 2012.
It's the Cap America story.
Yeah, but like in the comics, like the Golden Age comics and stuff are just him as like they were silly little war comics that were used as kind of propaganda for.
That's how they started initially. They quickly became he's a superhero. Very quickly. And they quickly gave him the villain of the Red Skull. The first appearance, this is a big thing in media. And I think it's a big thing in the fact that all the companies that make this stuff are multi-billion-dollar companies, and at their core, not only do they not believe in the things that their stories are saying, but they're also cowards who don't want to offend anybody, but in their cowardice, they lose out on money because nobody wants to watch just middling, like centrist bullshit.
Some people do, Carter.
Well, some people do, but also more people don't, I would argue.
Yeah, I know.
And also, it just, not only that, but also I think people who don't care would rather see an interesting story. It's a whole thing for so many. It's a whole opinion I have. I could do a fucking video essay about it, about like almost every franchise. Marvel is especially guilty of it. But in the first comic book to have Captain America, the cover is him punching Hitler in the face, which is crazy because that character came out before America joined World War II. It was a radical fucking cover. A very radical cover, because a huge movement in America was the American Fascist Party, and that only was kind of quieted by Pearl Harbor. This pre-Pearl Harbor, the first cover of Captain America was him socking a world leader in the jaw.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Marvel used to do shit that was cool and punk rock. That shit is punk rock.
And now they are owned by Disney.
Well, now they're owned by Disney, and the end of Captain America and the Winter Soldier was the most centrist. The whole show was about how people are being displaced and how racist the U.S. government has been to super soldiers and Captain Americas in the past. And the end of it is Anthony Mackie as the Falcon going, "Why can't we just all talk to each other, gang? Let's all sit down and stop yelling."
Politicians need to do better. In what way? I will not clarify.
I'm not going to say any specific thing I believe in and or say any policy that I would appreciate, but come on, gang, there's some problems and we should solve them. That was the end of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which is the absolute opposite of what I think Captain America stands for.
Yeah.
Captain America is a morally righteous, stubborn guy. And I think I've kind of bogarted this, and we are entering Carter's Theme Corner. Carter's Theme Corner this episode, dear listeners, will not be about this movie. I'd love to review this movie. I really do like this movie. But Carter's Theme Corner this episode is about the character of Captain America and how I think people really don't understand it. And Anthony Mackie got in trouble for saying it, but Chris Evans didn't. Oh, what's the difference between Anthony Mackie and Chris Evans? Well, I don't know. You tell me. But Captain America doesn't stand for America. He stands for an American ideal. And that American ideal is freedom and truth and justice. Truth, justice, and the American way. That's what Captain America stands for. And Captain America in the comics and in these movies, when he is mostly fighting the U.S. government, doesn't give a shit what the American government says. In the big comic Civil War, he is the anti-government figure. Like, Captain America stands for honesty and doing what's right. That's what he stands for. He doesn't stand for America, and if you think he stands for America, you don't have critical thinking skills. You just know how to read, and they're different. They're different things.
Are you hitting a desk while you say this? Please don't do that.
Bang.
I could hear it at like beats throughout your speech.
I'm gonna keep hitting it.
It's really fun to edit this audio.
Sorry, I was getting mad, but that's the point.
It's normal.
That's the point of Captain America. He stands for an ideal, and that ideal does change a little bit from writer to writer, but his main ideals are equality, justice, and freedom. That's what he fights for. Okay? He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care what you are. He cares that you're a person and that you deserve to be treated with respect. And in this movie, they do a great job of showing that. And it's a great time in history where the government can be on that side, because the bullies are the fascists. They're the Nazis. It's easy to hate the Nazis. Not anymore, maybe, but it's easy to hate the Nazis.
I think it still is pretty easy to hate the Nazis.
I think some people would disagree with you, Abel. I think quite a few people.
No, it's still easy. They just don't want to.
What dude?
Kanye. What are we talking about?
No, there's lots of dudes. Have you ever met a Kanye fan?
Yeah. I like his music. I don't like him.
Yeah. I didn't say a Kanye music fan. I said a Kanye fan, Abe or Mason.
Yeah, but when you say that you like a person's music, you don't clarify that.
Right, but there are
Not all the
people.
time. Yeah.
There are people who die hard stick up for him and whatever he says. Is my point.
I've not met one.
That's wild. I have met like a plethora. Anyway, that's not the point. Also, there are just Nazis there are just modern day Nazis
In the government.
and
Carter, did you like the movie?
yeah, I really like this movie. It's great.
Cool. What did you like about it?
I like that they really did the character of Captain America well. I like the action. I think the action is fun. What else do I like about this movie? I like the message at the beginning that the Doctor says. The reason he picks Captain America is because he's the bravest. Because everybody who he's going to give the serum to will be the same strength. They'll still be a giant wall of a man who can lift a truck, right?
Yeah.
The point is not to pick the best soldier, it's to pick the best man. Because if you pick the best soldier, odds are you might end up with a crazy sociopath. And that's what the Red Skull is.
Who's known power all his life may lose respect for that power, but a weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion.
Hey, Mason, was that revenge for me stealing your quote the last 2 episodes? Was that revenge?
No, but I thought I'd chime in and support your point.
Yeah. I liked it.
What did you think, Mason? What did you think of this movie?
Yeah, did you like the movie, Mason?
Loved it. I mean, to be honest, it's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
It's one of the better ones. I agree.
I'm a sucker for origin stories as well. Like, I love seeing the start of a superhero. And of course, yeah, Caps has done so well.
Is this like the same origin that he has in the comics?
Well, in the 30s, he didn't get frozen. But once it got to the 60s...
The 30s don't count.
So, here's the thing about Marvel. There's a big difference between Marvel and DC. I kind of like DC's way they do this better. But it's just a difference. It's fine. Both ways are fine, I guess.
Rolling timeline.
Yeah, so DC, when it gets to a certain point, they reset their timeline. They've used it as a corporate strategy the past couple years, which has made it feel way less cool and way less like an event, because you're like, oh, well, it's been 4 years. Time for the next universe-changing event. Marvel Comics doesn't really do that. They just will have like an issue where it'll be like, hey, Spider-Man, remember your origin story? And Spider-Man will update the origin story to fit into the modern day, is what they do. Like, the Punisher
like
will have
Iron Man switched wars, which wars he was like involved in.
Yes,
from, like,
and
Vietnam to Iraq.
They realize Captain America can't switch wars. His identity is intrinsically tied into a war in which we were clearly the good guys. And since World War II, we have not had a war where that happened. So they did the freezing.
And now they just update how long he was in there.
Yes. Now it's like, oh, I was in there for 80 years. Oh, I was in there for 40. It's that. Which I like. It really does work for him, and it's true. The character is intrinsically tied to a... Like, Steve Rogers would not have agreed to be Captain America in the Vietnam War. He just wouldn't have done it. Right?
Yeah.
It's not... Also, the Vietnam War is not one in which you're like, you know what, we need to win this, a super soldier. That'll really give us the edge. That wasn't... It just... His origin story only really makes sense in World War II. Abel, what'd you think of it?
I think the first time I watched this was from not a Redbox, but a DVD Express, which is the same exact thing, but it was in the grocery store that I would go to with my mom, and I would pick out movies there. So we watched it together, and I was like, that was good, because I was 10. I was like, this movie's awesome. It's cool. It's Captain America. After more Marvel movies came out, I was like, this one is like so middle of the road, like boring. Like, it's just mid. Like, it's just average Marvel movie. But then every time I rewatch it, I like it more and more. Like, I really think that it's just like... It's like the opposite of Thor. Thor, I thought, was just... Damn, this one's so mid.
Quick. as you were talking and you kept going, my mouth was slowly becoming more and more wide open, and then you you wrapped it around, and I was like, oh, okay, you liked it.
That's no, but Abel, that's the classic like kid progression. When you're a little kid, you think everything's cool, right?
Yeah,
and then
you
when
have no concept of critical thinking about media.
But then when you're a teenager, you're like, actually only shit that's like edgy and dark is cool, but actually what you think is edgy and dark is the most tame fucking like low brain story you've ever heard of, right?
I just
like
watched
we were
The Walking
talking
Dead.
about Deadpool.
Yeah. and then when you're an adult, you go, oh wait, no, I did like cool shit. Cool shit is cool no matter what. Like I don't need to have anybody think I'm cool cuz I like edgy stupid shit.
Yeah.
Also, Mason, calling out The Walking Dead for that is the realest take I've ever heard.
Well, I was trying to think of like what was I watching then, and like just pick one that's like the most edgy, and I was like, oh, for sure, Walking Dead.
That is so legit. That's real as fuck.
Because like for sure, there's a bulk of kids who like their parents would have been like, no, go, and so the kids who were allowed to watch it were like, yeah, I watched The Walking Dead.
I watched it. It is fucking dark. They killed a character. Have you guys ever heard of such a thing as that happening in a show?
No.
No, I haven't. That's pretty
I've
cool.
never watched a show long enough to watch a character die on it.
Abel only watches the pilot episodes of shows.
Yeah. And like very young children's shows where there's no death.
Abel be watching Wow Wow Wubsy on repeat.
Got snubbed for so many Emmys. Wow Wow
Dude,
Wubsy did.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it did.
Blue's Clues?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know Wow Wow Wubsy, bro? Google Wow Wow Wubsy.
That is.
Google Wow Wow Wubsy right now.
I never really watched it, but I played the fucking Flash games a shit ton.
Dude, I was a pro at the Wow Wow Wubsy Flash game.
Dude, the platforming one with all the like screws and stuff that are like the coins.
Sometimes my mom would take me to work with her during the summer, and I would sit, she was in an office, and I would sit on like a free computer in the office, and I would just play all the fucking like Noggin and Nick Jr. Flash games.
Dude, Noggin was the shit.
Noggin slapped. Were you
my
a
mom
Noggin
was like
kid?
teaching me how to
Comment.
use the internet. She made a desktop shortcut to Noggin to make sure I wasn't going on like other sites. I didn't know how to use it that much.
That's the real problem. That's why kids these days are getting like, they're watching porn way too early, and they're like ruining their brains with those brain rot shit, is because Adobe Flash is dead. So they can't go to fucking Cool Math Games or Nitro.com and just fucking play. Yes, they just can't. They can't play a game. They're like, oh, let me look at like some crazy ass fucking alt-right pipeline video. Instead of being
like on TikTok where every fucking thing is just being shoved down my throat.
Yeah.
Like,
instead
everyone's like, trying to make money off my attention.
Whereas we were like, man, I've got like a free hour. What if I played the Wow Wow Wubsy platforming game?
Go play.
What if I just play this game like 4 times?
Go culture yourself.
What if I played Twin Ninja on Nitrome?
Sonic
Sticky
Flash
Ninja.
game.
Fire and Ice.
I never played.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
The Avatar fighting game. The Avatar arena style fight, like Mortal Kombat style fighting game.
I don't think I ever played that one. Oh, I might have. I just don't remember it. Sounds fucking awesome though. I would have gone so hard for that.
Fucking dope. You got to make your own fucking bender. You get to make your own bender, and
like
Mason.
Bender from Futurama.
No, not like Bender. I have a question for you. This is how I'm gonna see how well you know me. What element did I always pick? What element did I go?
Fire.
No. What are you
Earth?
saying? Yes.
Okay, well, that was my first intention, but then I was like, Carter gets mad when people are like, you're the big guy, and so I was like, inside, what does he view himself? I was like, fuck.
No, I've always viewed myself as a stubborn asshole earthbender.
I don't think I ever could pin myself.
That's why you're an
I would go
airbender,
water.
bro. Yeah, you would. You would, Abe.
What's fucking wrong with that, Carter? Huh?
Nothing. They have the most hacks, so I guess you're right.
Learn how to bloodbend and shit.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, blood bending.
Actually, I wouldn't really want to do that.
Yo, Abe will be a bloodbender for real, for real. Abel's a bloodbender, dude.
There's tech to it.
There's tech to it. I'm using the bloodbender tech.
Isn't it like basically just torturing people?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I mean, to be fair,
in the wrong hands, you know.
So is throwing a rock at their head over and over again. Like, to me, like, I don't know. Like, if you bloodbend me,
there's no way around it with bloodbending, you know.
Yeah, that's true. If I just want to knock you out with a rock, I can knock you out with a rock. But if you bloodbend people,
you would think violent actions like choking are always done with malicious intent.
Mason,
I think bloodbending falls in the same category.
I don't think it does. I don't think anybody's kink is to be bloodbended.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And I don't want to say it.
I don't think anybody's like, I don't think anybody in the Avatar universe is like, yeah, bloodbend me. That sounds fun.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's the one-to-one from your metaphor about choking with non-malicious intent.
No. Don't bloodbend the other person.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Listeners, Mason's
we're in agreement.
Yes, we're in agreement. I'm saying you cannot. There's no way to nicely bloodbend someone. But actually, there's a theory that the waterbending healing stems from bloodbending as like a main.
I think if you could bloodbend, you could just make somebody blush.
Yeah, but then they're not really blushing.
But they are.
No, but
physically, that is what's happening, right?
Oh no! But they don't feel the feelings that people feel when they're blushing.
It would be a pointless blush.
That's just for you. That's just for you making them blush.
Play God.
Yeah, but that's not good. Like, nobody likes that when you use them as a tool to play God. That's not fun.
Like they feel that feeling. They're just like, why am I blushing?
Yeah, they're like, oh.
Their feelings were not in my thought process.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like, you could non-violently bloodbend someone. Is that what you're saying? You could bloodbend in a way that it's not violent, but it can't be, like, a good thing. Like, the other person wouldn't ever like it, is what I'm saying.
Carter, what I'm saying...
Mason, don't send me that text. Don't send me that text and not say it on the pod. Don't send me that text and not send it on... Say it on the pod, you coward.
No.
Say it on the pod.
I already said I wasn't saying it plainly.
Then your point is moot, isn't it?
Just think.
Isn't it?
I said don't bloodbend the other person.
Oh, you're saying for yourself.
Yes.
You're saying the Avatar equivalent to like a Blue Chew or Viagra would be a bloodbending situation.
Yes.
Okay. Listeners, he texted me that. That wasn't me connecting that dot. Mason texted me that, and
the text was far more vulgar.
I see what you're saying. Yes, I
don't. A couple minutes ago, I was going to say this is a pointless conversation.
No, but now it's funny.
Now it's got some worth.
We do a podcast where we review movies. Everything we say is pointless.
Hey, media analysis is important. Everything else, though, I don't know.
It's like saying this is a pointless conversation on a podcast is so redundant. It's
on a movie podcast.
It's so redundant, man.
Hey, I'm here to do important shit, guys.
guys, I can't talk right now. I'm doing important shit.
I'm basically like the Captain America of podcasting.
I paused my podcast for this.
I came home from a bar for this. God, I could be drinking.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even bring up that. We were late to record because Carter somehow forgot that we were recording, and when we texted, was at a bar.
That's my bad.
You know, the person who said, what time are we doing this tonight, guys?
Look, I have no excuse. I'm going to be the first to say, here's what I'll say. This is a good segue into a belief of mine that I have. I genuinely do have ADHD. That's what happened. I'm very sorry. Again, not an excuse. You guys should be mad at me because that's crazy. And it is my belief that while I do have ADHD and it does impact my life, it's not an excuse to be a dickhead. So I apologize. I also don't drive to bars because I live close enough to walk, but it did make me this podcast later because I then had to walk home instead of just driving. So, sorry. Might be.
How many did you get down before you realized?
One. Literally, I didn't even order my food. If I had ordered my food, it would have been game over. It would have been game over.
It's clutch, Mason.
Yeah, Abel was like, "Oh, are we gonna get a drunk Carter on the podcast?" And my thought was, no chance. If Carter is at least somewhat stable, and I think he is, he's not far into a drinking session at 6 o'clock.
I only get drunk socially unless I'm sad, and I don't drink when I'm sad anymore as a rule because I think both of you can attest it's not good. It does.
Tables get broken.
That wasn't my fault.
No, that wasn't. Carter was pushed. I saw it with my own eyes.
I was pushed.
And he was drunk, so he had no balance.
I had no balance, and I was pushed in a location. I was pushed in a location where I was like, "Oh, we're play fighting," and then
apartment, tight space.
Tight space. We were in a location where we couldn't break anything.
It was close quarters combat for sure.
It was close quarters combat. And then we left the location where pushing would be acceptable to not break anything. And I went, okay, now it's let up time. Now it's let's stop time. And my combatant didn't make that realization in time, and I ended up on a table. Abel wasn't there for that one.
Great time.
What was your favorite sequence in this movie, Carter?
The montage.
I know you're a big favorite sequence guy.
The montage where they blew up all the Hydra bases with the Howling Commandos was really fun.
That honestly might have been my least favorite sequence.
Are you? What? You're insane. I love the Howling Commandos. They're my favorite.
When I rewatch Marvel movies, I just like tune out the action scenes sometimes. Like it depends on the movie. All my notes are just
stuff I love about this movie.
Yeah. So, Abel, did you know that sometimes Wolverine is a Howling Commando?
That's dope.
Right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's fun.
But that wasn't in this movie.
No, it wasn't.
Because Marvel sold the rights.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought them back. Kind of.
Well, they bought Fox.
Yeah. I wonder, like a percentage, how much of buying Fox, the reasoning was, well, we'll get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four back.
75 to 90%. 75 to 90%.
I think that's too much.
I don't think it is. I genuinely think you underestimate how much money they were making on Marvel at that point in time.
Oh, how much was the purchase?
How much did they buy Fox for?
It was a few $1 billion.
$71.3 billion.
Yeah, that's way more than the fucking IP is worth.
Dude, I agree, but also buying The Simpsons and Fox Television, you're right, maybe it's 50. I think 50%.
I don't know. It was more of a theoretical question, but I don't know. It's just too perfect.
I think it's deep pockets. I think the situation also could have been Fox was like, let's see how much we can get out of them.
Yeah. No, Fox was driving but also I genuinely think Marvel at that point thought that every Marvel movie that came out was going to be worth $1 billion, and if they released 3 every year.
That was in 2019.
Yes.
When Captain Marvel made $1 billion.
Yes. I genuinely think they thought they were going to make $1 billion on every Marvel movie. And if they did $3 billion every year, if they made 3 movies every year and they made $1 billion on each of them, how many years would it take for them to make $71 billion? Let's find out.
And then the pandemic happened, and only one movie hit $1 billion, and it was a Sony movie.
It would take them 23 years. Yeah, it would take them about 24 years to make their money back from just Marvel movies in their mind.
And that's just gross revenue. Like, it's not $1 billion profit. That's more like a couple $100 million profit. And then that gets split up amongst shareholders and shit, you know?
Right. But shareholders and shit are dumb.
That's why the Star Wars IP, I can't even remember how much that was.
Yeah, but they've probably made their Star Wars money back on Disneyland having a Star Wars land alone.
Yeah.
Like, you're also forgetting, like, Disney is a money-making machine. Like, even if their movies don't make any money, they will just have money forever.
So Disney bought Lucasfilm. So that's Star Wars, and I think I'm not sure if Indiana Jones was part of that.
It is. It's Star Wars and Indiana Jones. That's it. It's basically the Luke and Red
Willow.
Tails, and Willow and Red Tails. The movie Red Tails.
I used to think that Winter Soldier was way better than this one, but I think they're about even for me now. And Civil War is like, it's not really a Captain America movie.
That's an Avengers movie.
Yeah. I like how his character stays the same and is like, so he doesn't really have character arcs, but then the world around him just changes and it shows how he reacts to a changing world.
Yeah, he's a man frozen in time.
Yeah. It's interesting how they do that with his movies.
He's morally righteous and stubborn. That's his whole deal.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you know when that old guy gets crushed by the rubble?
Mm-hmm.
So then Argus Filch, or like a guy who looks like Argus Filch.
It is
him. It's him. Okay, yeah. He lifts a rock that's bigger than the man's head off of his head. And he has minor bleeding on his scalp. And I was like, perfect.
PG-13, baby.
Fucking watermelon everywhere.
Yeah.
PG-13. What an opening to Captain America. That would be such a great... MCU rated R would be amazing. I'd love it.
The face replacement in the beginning for Skinny Steve is great.
It's actually so good. It's pretty fucking seamless. Like,
yes.
unless
the
you
Benjamin
know...
Button people, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they did a great job in Benji Button, too.
Yeah.
It's very seamless. I like it a lot.
I really like the moment, like, he gets the serum injected, and then the doctor gets assassinated, and then he goes, I gotta go fucking capture this guy. And then there's, like, a 6-minute long sequence of him chasing this guy down, and who eventually, what's it called? Those fake tooth poison capsules.
Cyanide capsule.
Yes, that's the word. And then the guy dies. Then he goes, okay, well, now what do I do? Like, you can see it processing on his face. Like, what am I doing now? Well, I don't have an immediate threat to deal with. I'm going to realize now, wow, I'm in this huge body. And then it makes you think the whole entire last few sequences, he's just trying his hardest, which is just what he's done his entire life.
Yeah.
You know?
He would have done that even if he was skinny. He just would have died. Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't even really... You can see the moment that it processes on his face. Like, oh, okay, I can actually do shit now. Is after he's already, like, chased down all these cars on foot and jumped over fences and dove into the water and just fucking...
Well, you kind of saw it when he started running, and you kind of saw him look at his body and just speed up. He was like, oh, I've got more in. Like, I can go quicker.
Yeah.
I got gears now. I got fucking levers to this shit.
Putting on the fucking, the NOS.
The super soldier serum is NOS.
I like the foreshadowing with the two. One with Steve, where when he's getting beat up, he uses the trash can lid as a shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's chasing that dude, he just grabs the car door as a shield. Clearly, the man loves shields.
He's a man who loves shields.
Yeah. And that car door had a star on it.
With Red Skull always picking at his skin, teasing the reveal of a scary villain always makes the reveal better.
Oh, that painting sequence before they show his face fully, he's being painted, and the artist looks horrified and so scared.
There's also a hint at it because he says he's been burned or he's like tasted the fire. And then Adolf, his lieutenants, Adolf calls him Red Skull. And then he's always like picking at like the skin on his neck. Like he's wearing an uncomfortable mask. And you're like, what is this man hiding?
It's a red skull. He's hiding a red skull.
Red skull.
He's hiding a red skull.
Wait, what's he hiding?
A blue skull.
What the fuck?
There's a version of Red Skull that's Captain America's kid.
In the comics?
Yeah, in the comics. No, in this movie.
No, in real life. Dude.
In real life. No, he's like Captain America's kid. and he gets raised by like Shield when Captain America goes on ice, and then he cuts off his face, escapes, and kills everybody.
Oh my god. I don't know like any comics, like any comics run of Captain America.
He doesn't.
Are there good ones?
I don't know. I've never read a Captain America comic except Civil War, because that's his.
I've read that one, I guess, but like I was like really young and didn't know any of the other context around it. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Civil War pops to mind. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure there's some great ones. There's a run. The run where they introduce the Winter Soldier is great, but that's more.
Oh yeah, that was like 2000s, right? Like pretty recent.
Yeah, it used to be kind of a rule in comics. There were only 2 characters that didn't come back from the dead, and it was Jason Todd and Bucky Barnes. And now both of them are back from the dead and very famous characters for being back from the dead. But also, I think they're better now than their original counterparts. I think Red Hood and Winter Soldier are amazing. They're 2000s Edge done perfectly.
I love in this movie how, like Lucius, that was his name, right? Morgan Freeman in the Dark Knight movies.
Yes, Lucius Fox.
Yeah. I love that Howard Stark is Captain America's tech guy.
But he's the billionaire, so he gets to act all playboy philanthropy guy.
Exactly.
To Cap. I also love how immediately jealous Cap gets of Howard, and Howard's like, dude, what?
No, dude, we're chilling.
Yeah, we're chilling,
like,
bro.
I'm just talking, dude.
He's like, I flirt with everybody. Don't worry about it.
I also love
this guy doesn't get it. This guy
doesn't get it. He's been skinny for his whole life. That's... I don't think Howard Stark would have admitted that during World War II, Abel. I think he might have kept that under wraps. I think he might have been keeping that shit to himself. I think that was the understanding.
With the German doctor who's like leading the program and invented the serum. He's so funny. He's great. And he's played... Oh, fuck. He's played by the Tooch. He's played by the Tooch. One of my favorites. At one point, Steve asks him, where are you from? And he goes, Queens, 73rd Street and Utopia Parkway. Before that, German. But he's like, nah, dude, I live in New York. What do you mean? What are you talking? I'm from here, idiot. And then after he has that like great speech to Steve about why he chose him and what traits he saw in him, and then he realizes, oh, Steve can't drink because he has a procedure tomorrow. And then Steve goes like, you won't drink that? And he goes, no, I don't have a procedure tomorrow. Drink it after. I'll drink it now.
He does have a procedure tomorrow.
Yeah, but he's doing it.
This is his fucking procedure.
No, that's great. Oh,
I also wrote that it was just funny in the exam room. There's 2 things on the wall. One of those eye tests where the letters get smaller and smaller. And then the other thing is just a placard that says, it is illegal to falsify your enlistment form.
Which Steve is doing.
Steve Rogers comes in.
Well, also, not to be this guy, but during World War II and the Vietnam War, it's not like there were like strict fucking rule. Like, it's not like they were only taking the best physical specimens they could get for the war. The reason they don't let Steve in isn't because he's like too small. The reason they don't let Steve in is because he has like a grocery list of shit that's wrong with him. He's got like flat feet, asthma. He's got like he had typhoid as a kid. Like there's just
rheumatoid arthritis.
He's got a whole he's so fucked. Like he's got like bone spurs. Like there's so much that's wrong with him that they're like, dude, we can't let you even be cannon fodder. Like you being cannon fodder would be so bad for us. It would be worse for us to line you up in front of bullets than to not line you up in front of bullets. It's just not, we don't make things in your size. It's too much. I also like how small he is in the machine. When they first put him in the machine and he is like, what the fuck?
I think it's funny how he gets in the machine and you're like, okay, so his head's not even tall enough to like look through the window at the top. And then he gets the procedure done and then you can't even see his face through the window after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why is there a window there if it's not going to be used to see anything, to show the audience?
Fogged up with all the steroid gases.
Fogged up with steroid gas.
I also wrote about Chris. Chris in the beginning, he gets more charisma once after the serum. Once he's kind of like, he's like, all right, I'm a soldier now. I can serve my country. But before that, he's a little more timid, and he just says things so like frankly and matter of fact that he comes off really, I thought, endearing and just honest. So of course they're gonna pick this guy.
I like when Bucky Barnes set him up on that date. Like, clearly Bucky's like, he set him up on this date, but it's fucking Steve Rogers is so like down on himself that he fucks up the date. Clearly, it's not like that she isn't happy to be on this date. He
walks off to enlist again.
Yeah, he like abandons his date to enlist, and Bucky Barnes is like, dude, what the fuck?
I'm doing literally all I can.
Like, I helped you out. You were down. We were down. You had it, but you're just such a fucking whiny punk ass. Jesus.
I also wrote, how can you not love their friendship? When I wrote that when Bucky was walking off, and he goes, don't do anything stupid while I'm gone. And Steve was like, how can I? You're taking all the stupid with you.
That's true friendship right there.
Then he goes and joins the army.
Yeah, and then he goes.
No, then he meets a German doctor.
Then
he's gonna make his dreams come true.
Stupidest thing you can do.
Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone. How could I? You're taking all the stupid with me. Goes and commits a felony.
I also wrote down though that in that scene where he meets the doctor and they arrange to meet the following morning for the procedure, Steve, or not for the procedure, but to enter the program, he doesn't ask him, do you want to be a super soldier or something? He doesn't say anything about the program. He asks him, do you want to be a soldier? And that's all he asks him.
Yeah.
And he says, yep. And he goes, all right.
All right.
Didn't say what kind.
Let's go.
I tricked you.
I also like that Steve trained with those guys, and then those guys, that's the same, they entered the same battalion that he was doing a show for.
No.
Yeah, because that bully is in the crowd. The bully from the fort, from the training.
Is he?
Yes. I swear to God he is.
Is he the one who says, bring the girls back?
I have never, to be fair to those, to be like, what the fuck are you wheeling Captain? Like, if you're a soldier, why would you be impressed by Captain America not fighting?
I think that was the point of the scene.
I know.
I like poking fun at the USO shows when they had him obviously read off his shield the lines he had written.
Yes.
And how bad how wide he misses the punches on Hitler, just by a mile.
Just a mile.
Hitler just dives.
He just fucking tank. He just. Can you imagine if they did that show in front of the soldiers? The beating that actor would get. Oh yeah, he said when he looks at one of the soldiers, and in all seriousness, I've knocked out Adolf Hitler over 200 times. No, it's good.
What do you mean by that?
What you talking about, bro?
This is maybe the worst post-credit scene. It's literally just a trailer for the Avengers with a tiny clip from it at the beginning. Like with text and all that says like, some assembly required or some shit. The Avengers in theaters in May. You know, they like, I'm so glad that they like didn't keep doing that, you know?
I mean, they do it now. Now they literally have end credit scenes that are like Star-Lord will return.
Yeah, but like they don't say in this movie that we've already filmed, here's a trailer for it. It comes out in a year. You know?
Yeah,
they're not as blatant about it. This is more like we're going to show you something and we'll just say it's going to return and we'll see how excited people are online and that decides whether or not we actually do something with it.
I would say they're equally shameless, personally.
Yeah. This one, the real post-credit scene is before the credits, and it's when he wakes up.
That's probably the best one in all of the MCU.
Yeah, but it's not a post-credit scene or a mid-credit scene because it happens beforehand. Now, if this movie came out at this, like, with what they do now with credit scenes, that would be in the middle, right after all the main credits, but before like the long ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
I think moving forward with the Marvel reviews, we'll rank all the movies and then rank all of the post-credit scenes.
Okay. Sounds good. I like it.
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun to me. All right. Mason, what you said you had thoughts. What do you got?
I got like 4 more notes to hammer through. In the chase scene, there's two great moments. Steve loses his balance somehow and just gets sent into a bridal shop. I don't know how.
Because he's not used to his new body.
Yeah, because he's like, it's
summer bod.
Brandon's summer bod. Too much sauce.
He's not used to having sick abs for summer, Mason. He's not used to it. He doesn't know how to handle it.
And then there's also immediately when the Hydra agent is running out of the building, there's that old lady who has a submachine gun that she just unloads into the ceiling as she falls backwards.
Because he shot her. Dude, everybody in that entire shield base is the worst shot in history, dude. Get him.
Except Peggy. Peggy got him.
Peggy got him. But everybody else can't shoot worth a damn.
And then when Bucky is finally, after they get everyone out and they go back to London and Bucky's in the bar with Cap and all the rest of the soldiers, Peggy is just so clearly in love with Cap and only has eyes for Cap that Bucky's like, I'm invisible now. Oh, God.
I do love that part. I do love that. I also love that Steve still has so little confidence in himself that he doesn't get it for like a minute. He totally doesn't get it. And Bucky is just like trying his best. He's like, oh, I'm going to flirt with this secret agent. She is like gorgeous. And then she's just all about Cap. And he's like, fuck, I'm you
As
now.
As the ladies' man that Bucky is, I couldn't understand why he didn't pick up on that. She was so smitten.
Well, he did. He did at the end. He just kept trying. That's what true ladies' men do. They notice that a woman's uninterested and they just keep pestering her until she gives in.
I had him on the ropes. I know you did. Bucky saying it to Cap in the beginning and then Cap getting to say it back to Bucky at the end.
Very good.
I think I have this. I wrote down this realization because I think I have it every time I watch this movie. But the scene where Cap is invading the Hydra base to rescue all the soldiers, it kind of feels like it's building to a climactic moment, but you're an hour in and there's an hour left of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You're only halfway through.
The climactic moment is that the villain is introduced.
And I really like the dialogue, like the scene where Cap is crashing the jet. I really like the dialogue between him and Peggy. I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And the final one is Cap at the end with Nick Fury. And he goes, I had a date. I started laughing hysterically because I thought it was so funny, the assumption that like the reason Cap jumped out of bed, threw 2 dudes through a wall, and was sprinting down a Manhattan street was because he was like, I'm going to be late for my date. He was in like the mid-nap delirium of not really knowing where he was. And he was like, I'm going to miss my date.
Yo, I got to go dancing with Peggy. Get the fuck out of my way. Also, they didn't do their research and pick a baseball game that happened after Cap went in the ice. Are you?
That's the most unrealistic part of this movie.
That's Abel. Let me pull you up on that.
Let me pull you up 2 seconds.
Let me pull you up on that, Abel. A government agency fucking up an investigation by the most like obvious thing is actually the realest thing that they could have put in this movie. That's
counterpoint.
I think that's real. If you look into the history of the FBI, you will realize how much they fuck up. They're not very good at their jobs.
I wouldn't have fucked that up, and I wouldn't be hired for that job.
Yes, I think that's my point.
There is one Hoover.
Hoover. Mason. I think a scene that I really like is when Red Skull, the building is fucking burning and falling apart around them, and Red Skull's getting into that like jet, that giant rocket. And the one scientist, Artem Zola, is like, where am I going to sit? He's like, bruh, it's a 1-seater. Fuck out of my face. And then he throws him the keys, and he's like, not a scratch. And guess what he threw him the keys to? A fucking BMW. BMW, I remember what you did, you fucks.
Nazi mobile.
Nazi mobiles. Also, people
No,
drive
it's
them.
the
Fun
Cybertruck.
fact, you know where the BMW logo comes from? The
Nazi
spinning
Germany.
what the spinning prop on a plane looks like, because they were making planes too.
Huh?
Bastards. You learn something new every day. All right, are we ready for quotes?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm going to start before anybody can steal it. Cap and Peggy and Phillips are in the Jeep tracking down. They're right on the tail of Red Skull's plane. Peggy kisses him goodbye, and it's a tender moment. And she goes, "Now go." And then Cap kind of looks to Phillips for approval, and he just goes, "I'm not kissing you." That's like one of the only quotes I remember from this movie, and it's really fucking funny.
I had that one down, but I've got more.
I have another. It's another Tommy Lee Jones one. It's when he goes, "If you have something to say right now is a perfect time to keep it to yourself." That's great. Tommy Lee Jones says stuff that's so fucking. You know who's cantankerous? Fucking Phillips in this movie. That's a cantankerous man.
The cantankerosity off the charts.
Dude, it broke the scale.
Well,
when
when Cap jumped on the grenade, he goes, "Still skinny." Like, grenade would have tore through him. It wouldn't have made a difference.
Wouldn't have made it. It wouldn't have helped anybody, motherfucker. Mason, what's your quote other than the one you stole from me, you son of a bitch?
I have a couple honorable mentions. The kid who gets tossed in the water in the beginning, he just goes, "Go get him, I can swim."
Dude, that kid definitely got cancer from being thrown in the Hudson. Am I wrong? He definitely got cancer from being thrown in 1940s New York water.
Potentially. They also tackle
It's not
racism,
canon.
but in a funny way, where when he's saving the soldiers, one of the American soldiers is like, "What are we, saving everybody?" Because there's the clearly appearing Asian dude. And he goes, "I'm from Fresno, guy."
No, that's true.
And then last honorable mention, Stan Lee gem. When there's the USO show at the end and Cap doesn't show up, it's like his handler that comes out. And Stan Lee's like, "I thought he'd be taller."
That was a great one.
It's good.
But
We should also rank the cameos going forward.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
My favorite is two that go hand in hand. Cap is asking Peggy about her and Stark, and he goes, "So do you two fondue?" And then later, Stark is trying to clarify everything, and he's like, "Fondue is just cheese and bread, my friend. The moment you think you know what's going on in a woman's head is the moment your goose is well and truly cooked." And I was like, "What the fuck are you saying, dude?"
Dude, that's the most 1940s fucking jazz talk I've ever. It's so it's just a bunch of dudes talking fast and they don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. So do you two fondue? This is my favorite.
Do you
Just
two?
bread and cheese, my friend.
My friend.
That was also the best, my friend.
My friend. Also, Howard Stark acting like fondue wasn't innuendo is such it's such bullshit. He's just fucking with Steve's head at that point. Because that was his implication to fucking Agent Carter.
Yeah, but he got turned down. So it's just bread and cheese.
So now it's just bread and cheese. Because she was like, "Nah, bro. I don't want to fondue with you, bro.
I want to fondue with Cap."
I want to fondue with this giant fucking brick wall of a man standing next to you. Anyway, are we ready for a rating?
Yeah.
I think so.
You should
Is
go
this?
first.
Oh, hold on. Are we doing? I wanted to clarify. Are we doing our regular scale, or are we like this is Marvel scale?
Let's do.
We can do both.
Let's do both. Let's rank.
The one that counts is the normal scale, though.
Yeah, the
You know,
one that
like
counts.
on the spreadsheet, you know.
The one that's really important. Anyway,
You go first.
no, you go first.
Okay.
Yeah, you're always going first from now on, Mason. I hope you know.
Actually, this wasn't a spin one. You're right. 8, Mason.
Regular movie scale 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Marvel scale 10. It's one of my faves.
Okay. Abel.
I'm going to give this a 7.
I knew
on
it.
the regular movie scale.
I fucking knew you'd give this a C. You cantankerous son of a bitch.
Oh my god. If I have to hear this every time that I rate a movie positive.
It's so funny. It's so fun to do. I'm having so much fun. You can't see it, but
I only had like 2 negative things to say about this movie. The rest of it was just, yeah, this is a really fun movie. I really like this movie. You know, it's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. You go, fucking.
But you're the lowest rating, and we need a heel
the whole time.
We need a heel. You're the heel. Every
it
good
gets
story.
A 7 for a Marvel movie. This is like an 8 or a 9, I'd say.
I think you got to choose one. You said yourself you hate half ratings.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Or give it a half rating.
Like, something like Infinity War Endgame, those are like 10s. I'll go with 8. 8 for a Marvel movie.
Okay. I am going to give this regular movie, I think it's an 8. I think this is better than a lot of action movies that aren't big IPs. And that's what I'm going to base it off. I'm going to give it an 8. For just a regular movie. It could be more like... If it wasn't so corporate, I think they could have done more stuff with it. I think, personally. Marvel movie, I'm going to give it a 9. Just because the sequel to this movie is my favorite Marvel movie. So I can't give it a 10. Because I gotta give that 10 to it's the second one.
I understand why you do that, but like you don't have to.
Yeah, Abel and I were saying the same thing. He was like, you don't have to. And I was saying, yeah, there's a handful of like Marvel movies that on the Marvel scale, I'm going to give a 10. And Cap, the first one, is one of those.
Well, I'm saying like Carter refused to give, what's it called?
Coraline. I had the same reasoning for Coraline.
You were like, I'm going to give it a 9.5 just because there's a different movie made by the same company that I like better.
Because we're doing, the way we keep track of this is on a spreadsheet. I want my ranking to be more obvious. Like how much I like. Also, because like I said, I don't like 10-point scale ranking movies. Right? It's not my favorite thing to do. It's not my preferred method of rating a movie. What
scale would you prefer? Huh?
I don't like scaling them. I think it leads to weird shit like this.
To be honest, with the regular ratings, I judge them 1 to 9, and the 10th point is the nostalgia point for me.
That's actually accurate. That's how I do it too.
Yeah,
that's real. I give it an extra point or 2 if I liked it as a child.
Fair.
But that's my ranking. So now there's only one thing left in the pod. Abel, what's up, baby?
What have I been watching / listening to / reading? Oh, I listened to the new Subtronics EP. It's whatever. There's a couple bangers on it. This is a dubstep EP. It's part 1 of a Fibonacci series. There's a couple songs that have really cool sound design. There's one song, it's called Lock In with Wooly, and it's like everything I hate about the modern dubstep scene, like encapsulated in one song. It's so boring and repetitive, and it has this dumb pre-drop shout that just like says it's like time to lock in or something, and then it plays the Mario Kart 3, 2, 1 go sound, and it's like, this was just made to be put on a fucking TikTok. Like this is made to like just be on like a festival or whatever. It's like it's just catchy and like annoying, and there's no, I don't know, I like better sound design, better like song structure, and there was just nothing there. And I know I'm talking about dubstep with 2 people who probably don't like dubstep at all and don't care for it or think it has any sort of artistic merit. But
no, it has artistic merit.
There's a lot of
it's just, to me, all dubstep sounds like that. All of it sounds like what you're describing. I don't know the nuances.
And it sucks because Subtronics is a good artist when he wants to be. He's a really talented guy who's built a really big, fun brand for himself. He's like maybe the biggest in the scene right now, and he can make really good music, but it's just annoying that like this is how you stay relevant and like get the most plays and get people to go see you is if you have stupid TikTok songs. It's not just hip hop and pop that have stupid TikTok songs. It's EDM as well now. I do like you Subtronics, and I like a lot of your music. This EP was fine. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I just wanted to talk about that one song that I didn't like. Also, I've been listening to the song Kokomo by the Beach Boys.
Great fucking song.
That's a fucking excellent song. Now you're speaking
also,
our language.
Shout out Spokane.
No.
They reference it in the Captain America song in the credits of this movie. I'm pretty sure. I heard it there. So shout out Spokane.
Couple boys like Carter and me. EDM. I don't know. Beach Boys.
That gets my heart pumping.
Oh my
dude. You know what sucks about God Only Knows? My dad had that as his alarm for my entire childhood. So God Only Knows was like my cue that it's time to wake up and go to school. So now I like can't listen to God Only Knows without being like, I'm annoyed. I don't want to go to school.
I only know it from this movie Saved, but I love that song.
It's a great song. Anyway, Mason, what's up, baby?
Nothing really. We are getting back-to-back weeks, back-to-back races in Formula One. Last week was Japan. This week is Bahrain. So we will see what goes down. Hopefully, a lot more action-packed race. Japan was a little bit of a snooze fest. Not many overtakes. So yeah, high hopes for Bahrain. We'll see.
Nice. I have been playing Pokemon Black on an emulator and watching Psych.
Oh, right before we started recording, I was like, oh, Carter's at a bar. Well, I've been thinking about doing this for a couple days. So I downloaded an emulator and booted up Pokemon Platinum. I just kind of pick a random one. Every time that I do this, I haven't done this in like 7 years, but you inspired me.
Which Pokemon game did you pick?
Platinum.
Platinum, that's the first Pokemon game I ever played. It slaps. Even comparatively. It is so fucking good.
Carter.
Okay.
The first one you play always slaps.
No, but Mason, I'm telling you now that I've played
Soul
almost
Silver
all of them.
Slaps.
Soul Silver actually is great also.
Totodile. Fuck what you heard.
Hey, Mason, I'm telling you.
Turtwig.
Not only... That's wild. Not only...
Bring out Sinnoh starters.
I'm just... Dude, Sinnoh starters are literally goated.
I know, but I was talking Johto.
I'm talking Here's Mason. I don't think you fully understand how much of a golden era of Pokemon we were kids for.
Yeah, it was my first console was the DS.
Yes. Like Soul Silver, Platinum, Black and Black 2, all on the DS, are some of the best Pokemon games. The only ones that are arguably better are Emerald, and people like X and Y and Sun and Moon, but nobody thinks that they're better than the DS games. I could talk about this for hours. That's not the point.
I find myself going back to Red.
I played Fire Red.
Do emulators.
Because Red is real buggy, so I always play Fire Red instead of Red.
I mean, that's what I mean. Of course, that's what I mean. But
Fire Red's the goat. Fire Red's fun.
I get weirded out by the prospect of playing Pokemon, like a regular Pokemon game, but it's in 3D. Like that just feels weird, and I've never played one of those new ones.
There's aspects that are fun, but I think intrinsically it's different.
The designs suffer a lot. A lot of the designs really suffer from it, from not being pixel art. I think
maybe, but it also, I think it is cool to like place yourself in the world and walk around and explore.
I agree.
The different way that they allow.
I agree. I think they could have done it. I could talk about this for hours, and I do want to at some point talk about this for hours on a episode.
Pokemon to scale,
but we'll see. But yeah, Platinum's great. Platinum is my favorite game, I think. Abel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I picked Turtwig. Haven't gotten much farther. What else have you been doing?
That's it, dude. I've been getting ready to work a lot, but that's it.
Hell yeah. Well, after you're done with that, we're going to be back here to watch, I believe we're spinning this week.
Check the schedule, man. My phone's charging.
I don't think I updated it based on what you said last time.
That's not till June and July, so I think we're good for the May. So what do we got?
Chicken Run was you, Lemonade Mouth was me, so it's Mason's spin.
Oh boy.
Mason spin. Aren't you excited, Mason?
No.
Why not?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
All right. Yeah. Mason, let me know when it's time
go.
to click
Go.
Spin it. Spin that
Okay,
bitch.
spinning. It's spinning. Year you were born.
2001 movies.
Yeah, we're gonna cook through these because, well, Carter, you're a 2000s, right?
Yeah.
2000. Okay.
2000.
I'm 2001.
Oh wait, no, fuck.
There is some really good picks here.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to like help point Mason in the right direction by like bringing up the ones
you
That
got
is the right direction.
You got to pick two, so I'd save yours for your picks, man.
I saw Jurassic Park 3, but I was like, we can't do the third one.
No, that's sacrilege.
What do you got, Mason?
It is. Let's watch Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde? I bet. Perfect.
Never seen.
I watched Legally Blonde. The two I was thinking of.
Hold on.
Oh.
I was hoping you'd be more upset by that pick.
No. I watched Legally
Wait,
Blonde
are you
all
not
day.
picking Legally Blonde?
What are you picking, Mason?
You shut up. Oh, yes.
Just pick it, man.
Serious.
What's the... Come on.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious what?
The first one.
Oh, all right. Let's do it.
Yeah. Is this the first one?
Yeah, the first one came in 2001.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I was making sure because one of them is called The Fast and the Furious and one of them is called The Fast and the Furious.
No, that's the fourth one.
Okay,
you
yeah,
idiot.
yeah.
How could you not tell? They have such radically different names.
The two I was looking at were Atlantis and Jimmy Neutron, the movie.
I was never going to choose
Jimmy
either
Neutron.
of those.
Dude, heaters.
I know what I'm picking once I get this one.
Absolute heaters. Anyway, I think that's the ep, right?
Yeah. My cat is deciding to use my microphone as a thing to rub into.
And with that, bye, everybody.
Yeah, follow us. Fucking stop.
I'm getting this done. Follow us on fucking Instagram and Blue Sky, and like the video on YouTube, and subscribe and comment, and give us 5 stars on your podcast thing of choice. Do we have any 5 stars or emails? At Pacific Standard Guys, Pacific at gmail.com, Pacific Standard Guys at gmail.com. Do we have any emails and or 5-star reviews?
No, we don't.
No, we do not. Bye.
Thank you. Hail Hydra.
No.
Yeah, take care.